A recent report by SB Morgan Intelligence reveals a staggering 2.56 billion naira was paid in ransom to kidnappers across Nigeria between July 2024 and June 2025, marking a 144% increase from the 1.05 billion paid during the previous year. This figure reflects only about 5.35% of the total ransom demands for the period, which reached a colossal 48 billion naira, underscoring the immense scale and profitability of the kidnap-for-ransom business in Nigeria. The kidnapping incidents documented totaled 997, with 4,722 Nigerians abducted in various parts of the country. Alarmingly, 762 people died in relation to kidnapping violence within the reported period. The Northwest region remains the epicenter of this crisis, accounting for 62% of all abductions, with Zamfara, Kaduna, and Katsina states recording the highest number of incidents and fatalities. The report highlights the deep entanglement of Nigeria's insecurity with its fragile economy. Inflation and currency depreciation have forced kidnappers to demand higher ransoms in Naira to protect their earnings, even as the dollar equivalent value of ransom paid rose only marginally to about $1.66 million. High-profile cases continue to skew ransom totals. For instance, the abduction of Justice Haruna Mashali in Borodu reportedly resulted in a ransom payment of 766 million naira, approximately 30% of the national total for the period. The kidnapping economy has evolved into a lucrative criminal enterprise with significant repercussions for the Nigerian society and economy. Experts warn that without urgent comprehensive intervention, the industry risks becoming entrenched and further destabilizing the country. It's a due process.
Well, kidnapping for ransom is something that has come to stay in our country, not because the victims are happy with it, but because the authority allow it to flow. General Sani Abacha, he said, and I quote, "Should a security last for 24 hours, the government have a hand in it." 24 hours, the government have a hand in it. You know, there is a conspiracy that Bill Gates has collaborated with the government of the day to ensure that local farmers are dispelled from their land. Local farmers are targeted. Local farmers are made to run away from their ancestral land so that there will be no farming activities in Nigeria, and by extension, leading to ravaging food crisis. Thereby coming the other way around, we introduce GMO. GMO means genetically modified seeds being given to our farmers to plant. Tell me, a farmer that have food storage. Previously, I've heard farmers saying they don't eat their current season yield. The current season, they don't eat it. Is last previous year's harvest that they eat throughout the next year. And it goes on and on and on like that until the current situation, whereby even the current year production is not sufficient for them to eat. They take some to the market to meet up with their urgent needs. At the end of the day, before the end of the season, they are out of seedling. Because they eat even the seedling to survive. They eat everything. Then they start going to market to go and buy. And when it is time for planting season, they also go to market to go and buy. And in the market now, we are having introduction of GMO seed. GMO have been widely reported across Africa to destroy the soil property. They kill the soil organisms and render the land infertile for production. Not only the land, GMO products are not safe for human consumption. So this is what we are facing in this country. Bill Gates, any country that surrenders the generality of what the country should be consuming to an individual, Bill Gates, is a demonic government. Bill Gates has been rejected in Burkina Faso. He has been rejected in Namibia on grounds of what? The rejection of GMO seed. But the same Bill Gates is the number one ally of Mr. Tinubu. He visits Aso Rock at will. So there are a lot of policies that have been approved in respect of GMO. Recently, there was a video where NAFDAC condemned GMO foods not being safe for human consumption. In less than a week, she came back to the same studio to repel her initial submission, now saying GMO is safe for human consumption. Tell me, where are we going to? Of course, they are playing to persuading Bill Gates, because Bill Gates allegedly have been accused of paying various government agencies to ensure that they approve GMO foods in Nigeria. GMO food is not safe for human consumption. Not a Nigerian, not a Nigerian study, but this study has been carried out in the US. If US, America, European countries, and even China are rejecting GMO, I see no reason why Nigerians should be accepting GMO. So what am I saying in essence? The whole idea of this kidnapping that is taking place in Nigeria is coming from multidimensional angle. One of it is just what I've explained. On the other hand, those that are involved, the Nigerian politicians, that have seen this as easy payout investments, in quotes. They put in the money, purchase the gun, hand it over to those they refer to as bandits, otherwise known as terrorists, to go and commit the mayhem. When they commit, they take the farmers to hostage and demand for ransom. And these days, they are no more limited to rural communities alone. They extend it to even urban communities, where selected individuals are kidnapped when plying the road, or they visit them in their houses and kidnap them, or along the metropolis, they get them kidnapped and demand for ransom. How do Fulanis have access to gun, for instance? How do these IPOB, all these non-state actors, how do they have access to all this ammunition? These are things that should occupy our mind. There's a lot going on in Nigeria. There's a lot of conspiracy against the survival of the black race. And Nigeria is the number one target, because if Nigeria is liberated, Africa is liberated. So they give us, they ensure that they support bad governments, they ensure that they support fraudulent election and call it victory. So we are facing a whole lot when it comes to this insecurity situation and kidnappings. And it will never end until we have a government that is interested in the plight of the masses. With APC continuation in the next 100 years, kidnapping will not end. That's the blunt reality. Because nobody comes in mind. Look at the crop of people that APC are recruiting. Starting from, look at Edo, look at the caliber. Look at Kogi. You see the caliber. Now look at what they are trying to present for Anambra. People who have no certificates, people who have not gone through the four walls of university or any higher learning to acquire current knowledge on administration to be able to manage resources and manage people are being given entire states to manage. It's a sorry situation, but that is what we are facing today.
Yeah, you have raised a valid and sound point.
There is more to insecurity in Nigeria, and the buck stops on the president's table. If you want to end insecurity, he can end it, and it starts from him. If he's not interested in ending it, they'll just be coming out to be giving us political analysis, political explanation, just to justify their continuous stay in office. Thank you.
Yes, I said that you have raised a valid and sound point. One question, the answer, remains in limbo is that where do all these criminals get their guns and weapons? There is a huge amount of proliferation of, small arms and light weapons in Nigeria from outside the country and within this country. So where are they getting these guns from? Some will say that the kidnappers or the bandits, they attack police stations or officers on the road, and then they kill them and collect their guns. Others will say that these criminals liaise with officials in government, and then in the end, they have access to these guns, and the innocent citizens will become the grasses that will suffer. So, but the question here is, how do we curtail this proliferation of, small arms and light weapons? How do you think that the government should manage it or should curtail or prevent the proliferation of small lights and, small arms and light weapons? Mr. Due Process.
Like I've said, the buck stops on the president's table. Take, for instance, each bullet has a serial number where that they can trace to the source of the producer. The producer should be able to trace the source of those he sold these bullets to, or which police station, which military division releases this particular ammunition. So it's very clear. I've had a discussion with a military intelligence officer who narrates how they handle this ammunition. The process for releasing a gun, for instance, is so tedious that it does not easily go out. So having this proliferation of different sizes of ammunition, different caliber going out, it cannot just come true without the conspiracy of those at the top, starting from the generals who are in charge, starting from the police chief. I mean, there have been previous records where officers were caught, confessions were made, who have been arrested, who have been jailed among the top brass of the military and the police. Who have been jailed? None. Who is in Nigerian prison today for releasing ammunition to bandits or terrorists? I doubt if there is any. So the military have been infiltrated significantly. They have been infiltrated. So there are conspirators among them that need to be fished out. Achieving this takes a genuine concern of a sitting president. If the sitting president is not interested in all this grammar we are playing here, it's not going to work until we have a president that is genuinely concerned about the welfare of the people, about the survival of the people, about the security of the people. Even these cow rustlers who go about stealing cow from the Fulanis is part of what we are facing today. You have a Fulani man spends years to raise his cow, increase in number, and overnight they come with weapon and take over ownership of the cow from him. Nobody is talking about this, but this is an aspect of it. So when we are talking about insecurity, it affects everybody. It affects even the Fulani man in the bush. He has no gun, he's carrying stick and cutlass, controlling his cow over the years. And all of a sudden, there are fellow other people who are not sharing the same forest with him, but they are now empowered because they have gun. They have different sizes of ammunition. They tell him, hey, they take over his belongings. I mean, when you see a cow, is there any plate number on it? There is no plate number on any cow, for instance. So they move them and move them into trailers, take them to another destination, and that's the end. And these are millions of naira. So are you telling me that this type of venture will end overnight without the deliberate interest of the government to provide security? I don't see it happening. Not under Tinubu. Even if Tinubu should spend another 100 years as Nigeria's president, he will not provide security for Nigeria. That is not his interest. Besides, he's how do I call it? The FBI, they have defined as an asset to the US. Imagine a sitting president of the most populous black nation on the face of the earth being described as an asset to the US. That tells you something. That tells you whose interest the man sitting in Nassau Rock is serving. I, for one, I know that definitely not the interest of Nigeria. Tell me, from the one that he has assumed office, which policy or action has he taken to persuade or provide relief for the Nigerian people? Just mention one. Starting from subsidy removal, the continual insecurity, the hunger in the land. I mean, nothing. So Nigeria is on autopilot, heading to an unknown destination. It can only get worse. I pray it doesn't.
What do you think about state policing with respect to solving or addressing these concerns? What do you think about state policing or community policing?
Yes, state or community policing is a welcome development. I have always advocated for state policing so that states can be another line of defense. The line of defense in Nigeria as we have today is only the federal government. Beside the federal government, there is no any other line of defense. The supposed informal state policing that we have is a vigilante. And there are certain actions that when they take, they will be called to question, to ask for who authorized them. So they don't have the legal backing to carry out certain operations. So if the state police, for instance, is implemented, it's a good idea. So that we'll have multiple layers of security. Imagine posting somebody from Maiduguri, for instance, to go to Abia State and provide security. He is not aware of the terrain. He doesn't understand the language of the people. He may come in with biases from those regions against those who are living in the states. by virtue of probably what you have heard about them. So, state policing is overdue. It's something that ought to have been implemented a long time ago. I pray it works. Another concern definitely will come up after the implementation of state police, given what the Agune Chamber are doing in Anambra State. You know, Nigerian politicians are so corny and so wicked. They use state resources, state formation to their advantage, their undue advantage. Suppression of civilian rights, violation of human rights. These are issues that will come up. But then, if there is a proper training and there is no bias from the man sitting as the city governor, there will be excellent peace and tranquility in the states. So state policing is welcome development. Imagine what DDM was doing the other time in Edo State, chasing kidnapper. Is it trained as a security personnel? The answer is no.
DSS.
Is it trained as a security agent? Because that is how low the country has gone. Country has gone so low that individuals are now coming in, finding how to help.
That is quite scary. All right, let's see what this matter looks like from the vantage point of Mr. Ibrahim.
Right, he said a lot of things that I'm quite interested in, and part of which is the role played by the international community in promoting insecurity in Africa, by extension in Africa generally. Because if you look at Nigeria, Nigeria holds a strategic importance of uniting the whole of Africa. So I'm quite interested in that, and understanding how the game is being played, because it's just a game, will help us to decipher how to solve the problem. You see, Africa is supposed to be, should I say, as the beneath every other continent in the global value chain. And it is by design. So we're not supposed to rise above. This is by design. But as Africans, the first stage for us to know how to solve the problem is understanding the problem in the first place. You see, the international community are playing us, and we're basically like pawn to them in the chess game. Use, dump, and discarded. So African society, African life does not matter. In the previous program I had with Mr. Daniel Elumba and Comrade Ofo Ebuka, we talk about some of the things that are happening currently in Europe, and it's raised a lot of concerns across the world, and media are so interested in it. They are talking about it every day. But what is happening in Africa, in Congo, in Sudan, and a lot of African countries? But nobody cares about African life, because our life does not actually matter to them. They still look at us as lesser humans to them. So with that kind of mentality, and with the current, should I say, world order, Africa will hardly rise above. And they have a lot of tools to use. Sadly, our president is an asset to FBI in the United States of America. And don't forget, FBI is a clandestine organization, a secret organization. So if a president of a country like Nigeria, will serve as an asset to FBI, what do you think about the future of Africa entirely? Clearly, in a capitalist society, in a democratic setting, every country is playing the game to their own interests. So if the president of a country in Africa is serving the interests of a foreign country, then we have every reason to worry. And it is fair to say we have failed as a society. And I used to say that it is not accident that Africa are not getting it right, because 54 sovereign countries in Africa, and every country is bad. Every system is not working. It's not coincidence. Clearly, it's by design. because we can't keep on having bad people across the board. And look at sport. We are producing fantastic people in sport. We're producing fantastic people in entertainment. Why are we not getting it right in governance alone? And why does it matter? Because governance shapes the life of the people. And we are not allowed deliberately by design to get the right people. The system is suppressing us to keep getting the wrong people. If at all we get the right people, the system will work against them. That's by design. And that's why when I look deep into it, I just find it very, very hard to even swallow. The hardest pill is that Africa will hardly rise, regardless of the people we vote, regardless of who is in charge, because the system is the problem we have. Because if you are genuinely fighting for your people, genuinely standing for their interests, let me tell you the simple thing that will happen. They will use human rights against you. They will use freedom of speech against you. And they did it in multiple places, that the people have the right to say what they want, and they hold the economic advantage. They can fuel uprising within your country. You can fuel uprising in their country, and they can use that freedom of speech. So Africans should know that freedom, real true freedom, is not given, it's taken. And we can't be free by looking for solutions from others. We should start looking from within. That's why I actually believe the day that Africa will be truly liberated is the day that we understand that our liberty rise from within, not from without. And that's my belief with regards to insecurity in Nigeria and generally in Africa, because Africa has been a terrorist harbor for years.
That's
Thank
wonderful.
you.
That's wonderful. All right, that's it on DDM Morning Show today. I am Tochukwu Raphael. See you next time tomorrow for a fresh edition. Thanks for your contribution, Mr. Due Process. You are wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you,
All right,
viewers out there. Bye-bye.
Okay, so viewers, if you love this show, do not hesitate to hit the like button, make your comments on these topics, and then subscribe to our DDM TV for more exciting stories. Ibrahim Umawase, nice meeting you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tochukwu Raphael.
All right, viewers, see you tomorrow for a fresh edition. Bye-bye.